So for tonight's call, I'm going to go over how to have a vision for your business. And a lot of these things that I'm sharing with you guys, you can take into other areas of your life. So this can really help you to have a vision for your life in general. And typically I start off explaining why the topic that I chose is important in the first place. But I'm actually going to do the reverse tonight. I'm going to go straight into the how, and then we're going to end with the why. And I hope that it'll be helpful for you guys tonight. So in order to find a vision for your business, it's really important, because when I say vision, I mean the overall big picture of what you want to accomplish in your vision. So it can be easy, especially in Beachbody or in whatever it is that you are working on, to just look at the next step, right? And to be laser focused on, what's my next goal? Okay, what's my next rank? How do I get there? What's the very next thing that I want to do? And that's great. We have to do that, because that keeps us, if you're task oriented especially, it just keeps you on track and it gives you something tangible to take the next step into. But I want to make sure that you are taking time to take a step back and look at the big picture of what is it that I want to accomplish, like grand scheme of things, vision, because that tends to be where your heart is and where your emotions are connected to. Your emotions might not be connected to hitting Emerald or hitting Success Club or any of these small steps. Those are kind of like the means to the end. And if you don't have a vision of what it is that you're building, it's easy to run out of steam. It's easy to let small setbacks or even big setbacks make you feel like, I don't know if this is worth it. And that can happen in life as well as in Beachbody. But when you have a clear vision of what it is you're working towards, then each step, each landmark, each rank that you're pushing towards actually has some meaning. It's not just, well, this is my next step. This is actually pushing you towards that bigger vision. So if you are not sure where to get started on how to set a vision for your business or your life, I want to ask you 3 questions. And if you have some paper nearby or your phone or computer and you are able to jot down these questions, I would highly encourage you to do that. These 3 questions are going to kind of give you the vision of your life. And then once we get that, we're going to bring it back to, how does that relate to your business? So we're going to start big, and then we're going to move down into specifics. So here are the 3 questions. Who do you want to become? The second question is, what do you want to accomplish? And the third question is, how do you want to feel? And I find that when I ask myself those 3 questions, I'm able to really dig into, what's my vision? Where do I want to go in life? So let me break down for you those 3 questions and kind of show you how I answer them. And then I'm going to take that into how that affects my business and how I run my business. So the first question, who do you want to become? In order to really get into that, I kind of then split that into 2 sub-questions. Where do I feel the most fulfilled and the most alive? Like, what is it that when I'm doing it, there is no time, like it could be hours go by and I'm just lost in it. Or I just feel so energized and so alive from doing that. So for me personally, I feel so fulfilled and alive when I am brainstorming, problem solving, teaching, mentoring. That is what, like putting together this team call, is my favorite thing, are putting together these team calls, having one-on-one mentorships. When I'm able to not only teach, but also talk one-on-one, find out where your problems are, and make a path to problem solve our way through that. That's what I love. I really love it. And it gets me so alive and so fulfilled. So the second question that I ask myself when I want to know who do I want to become is, where do I feel the most frustrated in my life? And so for me, I feel the most frustrated when I let my emotions keep me from moving towards my goals. When I let how I'm feeling that day dictate my actions instead of, these are my goals. I know this is what I need to do. I just need to do it. I feel frustrated, at the end. Let's say I go to bed at the end of the day and I'm just like I did not do what I should have done because I let my emotions take over. So that's one of my biggest frustrations in life. So knowing those two things can help me to also now answer the second and the third question. So what do I want to accomplish? Well, because I love brainstorming and problem solving, then I want to become an effective, motivational teacher and leader who helps others get real results. That's who I want to become, right? Because that's what gives me joy. So I want to take what gives me joy and I want to explode that and become better at that. I want to really just get good at that, because that's what gives me so much fulfillment. But then on the other side, I also want to become a disciplined, goal-focused woman who feels deeply but doesn't let emotions sidetrack her progress. So I'm taking my strength and my weakness, and that helps me figure out who I want to become. I want to become better at my strengths, and I want to not fall into my weaknesses as often. So that really helps me to know, who is this woman that I want to become? I believe that each of you have gifts and strengths and talents, and that was given to you for a purpose. And so knowing what those are and tapping into that is a big part of you feeling fulfilled and becoming who you were meant to become. And at the same time, we all have the opposite side. We all have the weaknesses that, can keep us from being all that we are meant to be. And so getting better at our strengths and trying to diminish our weaknesses, that helps me define who I want to become. So that's the first question. The second question, what do you want to accomplish? When I look at those two sort of sentences that I wrote, I kind of already see things that I've written in here that are telling me what I want to accomplish, right? I want to help others get real results. So that's something I want to accomplish in my life. I want to accomplish my goals. Like I want to be moving forward. I don't want to be stuck. Maybe it takes me longer to get to my goals than I would like, but as long as I'm always moving forward, I can feel like, okay, I'm not letting my emotions dictate. I am being disciplined and I am moving forward. And so that's what I want to accomplish. I want to accomplish that I'm always having a forward motion in my life. And then, how do you want to feel? When I look at these things that I've written, it's very obvious that I want to feel significant. I want to feel like I'm contributing to other people. I want to feel like I'm helping them move forward. And I also want to feel like I'm in control of my emotions and they aren't controlling me. So you can see how each question, as you answer it, it may answer the other questions automatically, or you may have to dig a little bit deeper and think a little bit more. But those three questions are really going to give you a lot of insight into who you are, what makes you tick, and what kind of vision you have for your life in sort of an overarching way. So now, how does this translate to my business? When I think about, the fact that I want to help women, that I want to motivate people, that I want to be, disciplined and not just ruled by my emotions and not just up and down one day to the next. Then I look at some of the goals that Beachbody has, and I can pluck out which ones really resonate with my vision for my life. So, for example, being a Success Club All-Star legend, knowing that I've consistently helped 3 to 5 women every month aligns with my overarching vision for my life. And so that's a concrete business goal that has a direct connection to my vision for my life. Being a 10-star diamond, that is something that is a big goal of mine, because that means that I'm helping other women have real success and results in their life. And that connects directly to, again, my vision for my life. Having a team of women, and this is really where it gets really interesting, because as you think about what you want in your business, right? You can think about rank, 10-star diamond, like I mentioned. You can think about income. I have income goal to be a 6-figure earner. And you can think about Success Club goals, because that means you're helping people consistently every month. But then when you think about the kind of team that you want to have, the kind of team culture that you want to have, that's when it gets really interesting, because you can really personalize this to you and what's important to you. And so this is my vision for the team that I want to build. And I would challenge you to write down your ideal coach, who your ideal coach is that you want to work with on your team, and then what kind of team culture that you want to have. Because the team is only going to be what you are. So if you don't know what you want your team to be, how can you know how to grow yourself, right? If I want a team that's disciplined and doesn't let their emotions get in the way, guess who's got to be disciplined and not let their emotions get in the way? Me. So knowing what you want your team to be then helps you to know how you need to grow and to be the leader that that team deserves. So my vision for my team is that I have a team of women who are transforming and growing in the belief in themselves, who are starting to believe that they can be successful, that they can be leaders, that they can cause an amazing sense of change around them, that they can be a catalyst for that change. I want to have a team of women who are disciplined. Like I said, the things that I want for me is what I want for my team, who do what's right when they feel like it and when they don't. I want a team of women that, the idea that are embracing that idea that they can and they should be a leader in their network, in their community, because I really truly believe that we need more leaders, especially female leaders in our world. And when I say leaders, this is a new type of leadership, not I'm going to tell you what to do and you're just going to do it. It's I want to serve you by leading by example, by coming alongside of you, by building relationship with you. But I think that we need to stand up. We need to have women who are confident, who are unafraid to do what they know is right and lead others and say, hey, come and do this with me, in a way that's winsome and humble. But at the same time, there's a strength there. There's an unapologetic, like, I love you, so I want to lead you. I want to help you. I want to have a team of women who see the best in themselves and who see the best in others, and who constantly remind others of what they're capable of. And I want to have a team of women who are on fire with passion for life, who are reignited to their to what they love. And that's part of the basis of this call is, what do you love? What sets your soul on fire? What is it that, you want as a vision for your life? And then I want to give every woman on our team the skills to take that vision and turn it into a reality and put true actions to the ideas. And so that's my vision for my team. And I would challenge you to think about, what's your vision for your team? What kind of change do you want to affect? What kind of, what do you want your team to be known for? Even if you don't have a team yet, you have to know that first before you're going to attract those people, and before you're going to, the things that you post about on Facebook, the things that you talk about with your friends or your neighbors, all of that is only going to come out of what's right here. And so if you don't have that clearly defined vision burning in your heart, then it's not going to come out. And it's going to be hard to see it become a reality until you know what you want to have accomplished. So now that's all the how. Let me go back and talk about why I think this is important. There have been studies that say that there's more joy and excitement and satisfaction in the pursuit of a goal than the actual accomplishment of it. We were created to have goals, to have something to strive for, and to have something to run after. I was playing a video game with my son on my iPhone, and I was like, it's stressful because you're trying to beat the level, and it's this little game with berries. I don't know. He loves it, and so he was teaching me how to play it. And I'm like, this is so stressful, but I keep wanting to play it. I fail the level, and I'm like, no, I'm going to try again. Let me do it again. And he's like, Mommy, it's my turn now. I'm like, no, I have to finish this level. But it's just, the way that we're wired is we love a challenge. We love having a goal, beat this level, and maybe you fail a couple times, but then when you win and the little coins scatter down all over the screen, you're so excited, but you're only excited because now you get to go on to the next level, right? Yeah, it's great. I got my goal, but now I have another challenge. So that's just the way that we're wired, is to always be excited and just stimulated by a new challenge and a new goal. And so if you don't have a vision, then it's you're playing the game, but you're never really winning because you don't know what winning looks like, right? Or you're playing the game and you think you've won, but you're not sure. You've got to define what's your vision. And then that's the only way that you're going to know if you're getting closer to it, is if you know where you're heading in the first place. So having a vision is so important because, yes, Beachbody gives us benchmarks and they give us, things to shoot for. But if you don't have a deep emotional, personal vision for why you're doing this business, those benchmarks they're going to just be numbers. They're not going to motivate you to really stay in it for the long haul. Aimlessly doing activities over time, when times get tough, you're not going to stick with it unless you have that deep vision. So there's this illustration in a book, The Slight Edge, which is one of my very favorite books that I've ever read. And basically he's saying that so imagine there's this straight line, right? And the straight line is everything's okay. Let's say there's a duck and they're just paddling along and this is the top of the water and everything's okay. Well, if you start to drown, if you start to dip down into things are not okay, all of a sudden people start paddling like crazy and working like crazy because they're in panic mode. They're drowning, they're underwater. But once most people get up to being okay, they stop doing those activities. They stop working so hard and paddling so hard. If you were to keep up that effort, you would go from just being okay to being amazing, thriving, being successful. And it's not that we can't do those activities. It's just that we don't have the motivation like we did when we were here drowning underwater. And so the whole point of this illustration was keep doing those activities that breed success, not just when you're drowning, but keep them up always, and you will rise to heights of success. It's the same activities. It's just we stop doing them when everything is kind of okay again. And so that's, again, what vision gives you. So when you have this greater vision, it's not just about, everything's okay now, so I'm just going to stop doing those activities. And then obviously what's going to happen, you're going to go back underwater. And then you're going to I gotta, and it's what people do with weight loss, right? oh no, I've gained 10 pounds. I'm going to work out and I'm going to eat healthy. And then when everything's like, when they lost the 10 pounds, they're like, oh, I'm good now. They go back to their old eating habits and then they dip down again. And the only difference between someone like that and someone who is like muscular, super healthy, just like, you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, I could never like, get to that point. Well, you could if you just kept doing the things that helped you lose those 10 pounds, just kept doing them, like didn't stop when everything was okay. So it's all about setting your visions higher, holding yourself to a higher standard, having a greater vision for your life than just surviving. Like if you're just okay surviving, then that's all you'll ever do. But if you have a vision of life, like I want to live a fulfilling life. I want to live a life where I feel on fire and passionate and like I'm doing what I was meant to do. That takes work and intentionality, but it's really not that hard. It's just doing the same activities, but keeping it up and not stopping. So the second reason why it's really important to have a vision is that, you're not just doing the activities that are helpful to you, but those activities have a greater focus. So for example, in the Slight Edge, if you haven't read the book, by the way, get it and read it. It's fantastic. But in the Slight Edge, basically he says, if you were to read just for 10 minutes a day, a good book that helps you grow personally, if you were to do that for a whole year, just 10 minutes a day, nothing crazy, not 2 hours, not like a book a week, just 10 minutes a day, you would read so much good content that after that year, your life would be transformed. You would have incredible knowledge. You would have incredible personal growth. And all it took was 10 minutes a day, but doing it every day, doing it consistently. And so I agree with that. Like, yes, everyone should read 10 minutes a day. They should have that goal. But when you have a specific vision, it gives that reading time a focus. So for example, my specific vision for building my team, if I want a team of leaders, I have to become a leader. So my personal development book choice is going to be on leadership. So those 10 minutes a day are not only transforming me, but they're transforming me in a focused direction of where I want to go with my life and with my business. And the same thing with, and it's the same thing with fitness as well, right? So yeah, exercising every day, yes, you should do that. That is going to help you be healthier. But if you have a specific goal of like, I want to, have incredible legs or whatever, you're going to pick a program that is focused on that specific body part. So again, the more specific, personal, and emotional that your vision is, the more consistent you're going to be in the activities that will get you there, and the more focused you can be in what those activities actually are. And so you're going to see yourself moving towards your goals with much more speed because you've actually got a destination now. You've actually got a place that you are heading with your business and with your life. So my assignment to you guys is to write down these 3 questions. Who do you want to become? What do you want to accomplish? And how do you want to feel? I want you to write those down and I want you to answer them. I want you to actually put it on paper. There's something magical that happens when you put things on paper. Even if on the back of your paper, your child has drawn little monsters, it's still magical. And that is going to help you to really start getting, it's kind of like this fuzzy thing that over time kind of like gets, you can't rush it. You can't always like just sit down in one night and bang it out. But if you write down these questions, if you just kind of brain dump the first sort of things that come to your mind, over time, you can kind of come back to that paper and come back to those questions and maybe tighten it up a little more. And then maybe, as you work a little more in your business, you tighten it up a little more. And after a while, you've got this laser focused, very specific vision for your life, for your business, for your family. So now your actions are going to be more consistent. They're going to be more focused, and they're going to draw you towards your goals much more quickly than they would have before. So, do you need the questions one more time? Let me say them one more time in case you need them to write them down. Who do you want to become? What do you want to accomplish? And how do you want to feel? And then sort of the two subset questions that were after that first, who do you want to become? Where do I feel the most alive and fulfilled in my life? And where do I feel the most frustrated? And so those two things are going to really help you identify your strengths and identify your weaknesses and try and really, get yourself to, and again, it's a process, guys. It's 10 minutes a day over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, but the time is going to pass anyways. Why not take every day as a step towards your goals than just kind of aimlessly, living life, surviving, wanting to accomplish things, but not feeling like you're getting traction. This is sort of like the foundation that you need so that your actions are actually doing something for your life and for your business. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. If you feel like this is something, I don't know if this is new to you or if this is something you've heard before, if you've ever done an exercise like this before. But I've just found it so helpful that what I want to accomplish, I have to define it. I have to know what it is. And I can't let Beachbody define it. I can't let anybody else define it. I can't let what your goals are define it for me. This is really something that you have to dig deep into yourself. And maybe if you have a best friend or a mom or a spouse who you can even share some of your answers with them, and they can kind of help you to be like, yeah, I see that in you, or they can help you more clearly sort of understand yourself. That might be helpful as well, just so you can, again, take this sort of fuzzy thing and boil it down to just getting a really clear vision for your life and for your business. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for taking time to be here on the call.